if you're someone like me who loves their brushes, and I don't have a whole lot of makeup brushes, but I have a little experience with brushes. Hang on. This is about half of my paintbrushes, and so I've been cleaning them for at least 20 years. Some of them are that old, so I kind of know a few things that work, including weightlifting. But we've all heard that we've got to wash our brushes. We put these on our face day after day, and it picks up oils and bacteria from our face every time we use them. There are sprays that are antiseptic. There are commercial washes, and there are things like shampoo, dish detergent, and these are hair. I'm leaning towards shampoo, and I've used that a lot. But what's happened is, time after time I would wash them so carefully, like I know you all do, and I would dry them, and they're kind of stuck together after they dry, and we fluff them up a little bit on our hand, and then when I put it on my face, then it would just feel like a claw on there, because the hairs were so stiff. Well, I think I found a better way, and I'd like to share it with you. It's worked for me. The one thing that I wanted to talk about is that you may have heard of a term called co-washing for hair. And what it is the use of conditioner rather than shampoo to cleanse the hair. One of the benefits of it is that it leaves your hair very moisturized, very soft. Now, these brushes have sat around. They collected oil. They've collected, just bacteria. They've had powder caked up and caked up and caked up on them, and they get dried out, and that's why it feels bad. And if you've ever, washed them so carefully and done that, and then ended up giving up, throwing them away, and buying new brushes, it's going to save you a whole lot of money. Let's get started. I will have a short list of the products you need in the description box below. For now, I'm using this as my kitchen sink. You'll be at your kitchen or bathroom sink, either one. And I've got a little bit of water in here. And it's just an empty bowl, some paper towels. I've got my dirty brushes, and I've got a clarifying shampoo of any kind. And I've got tea tree oil. This is going to kill the bacteria in the brushes. I've also got a couple of old hair conditioners. I didn't dislike this one, I just found something that worked better. This is Herbal Essence. Colored, permed, dry, or damaged hair. Very moisturizing. This is a VO5, a moisturizing conditioner. Either of these will work, any will work that you didn't care for, but it would be optimal to use a moisturizing conditioner. I've also got a spatula and anything that has a slightly raised surface on it. This is one of my butter knives. Okay, to begin with, I want to show you that this brush I've already taken care of. I've already washed it, and it is as soft and as shiny as it was when I bought it, and I'm going to try to hold it forward and move it. This is like a new brush. And this brush is approximately 4 years old. Okay. Alright, I'm going to start with one about the same size. I'll demonstrate on this one. This is, it doesn't matter whatever it is that you love. This is a Maybelline blush brush. Okay, the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to start not by shampooing this, but by conditioning my brush. And what I'm going to do, and I would do this if I were over a sink, I'd probably do this in my hand. But I'm just going to squirt a small amount. I'm going to call it, for all of these brushes, a tablespoon of conditioner in there. I might use, oh, a fourth of a teaspoon if it's a really small brush. So I've done that. And the next thing I want to do is, you have the option of maybe, depending on how dirty the brush is, not using the clarifier. If you do that, you still need to kill the bacteria. So tea tree oil is going to go in my mix. And all I've got in here so far is a moisturizing conditioner. I'm going to put, in 1 tablespoon, I'm going to put 3 or 4 drops of tea tree oil. No bacteria is going to live in this. What I want to do is stir that around a little bit and get it mixed together. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use my hand. I'm going to scoop a little bit of this out onto my palm. And I hope you can see this. And here's my brush. First thing, wet it. Only go up to this part, the metal ferrule. Don't go into this part, especially if you have wooden handles on your brush. Okay, it's wet. It's not absorbing much water because there's so much product and oil on here. Oil breaks up oil. Any kind of conditioner is going to have some degree of something like oil in it. So we're going to use this to break up what's already in here. And I'm going to turn this around on my hand. And I'm just going to work these bristles back and forth. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do another one. I'm going to lay this on its side here. Let's see. Let's find a real... Here's another one. Let me get some more of my... I'm just keeping this clean in my bowl. Let me get some more here. And again, work it in there. And you'll begin to see... Let me get some of this out of here. That color is coming out of the brush. And I haven't used any soap. So there's nothing drying that's been on this brush so far, and already the color's coming out. I could continue to do this, reload it, and wipe it off until all color was gone from this brush. But I like to go a little bit further. So this one is all loaded up. Oh, let me go ahead and do another one. This is probably the nastiest brush I own. It's been sitting on the counter forever collecting dust. And I'm going to go ahead and scoop quite a bit of this on my hand. This one, again, wet it first. Oh, that brush is stiff. As a matter of fact, I think I washed this one. That's why, yes I did. That's why it was so stiff. And if you put that kind of thing on your face, I'm going to squeeze a little bit of it out. Don't pull, just squeeze. You'll pull the bristles out of the ferrule, the middle part. And, yeah, there's no color coming out of this one. I did wash it. Oh, maybe a little bit. Okay. I'm going to get it all the way in there. If you have to, add just a touch more water. Work it in. And you can squeeze and see color coming out of the brush. Okay. Alright. I'm going to finish up these other brushes. I'll be right back to tell you what we do next. Alright. At this point, your brushes will need to be rinsed in water. I'll lay this aside. And this is my conditioner. I'll lay it aside. Your brushes will need to be rinsed in water. And again, you can rub them a little bit on the bottom. Tap and lay them aside. Try not to push the bristles straight down when you're rubbing them. in this water. There's no conditioner in here. It's going to keep it from crunching up in there, and they will mat up in the larger ones. So, alright, and again, you can do this under a running faucet. These hairs will feel very slick and silky, just like you want the hairs on your head. Maybe a little silkier than that. The next thing is, now that that conditioner is in there, I've worked a lot of the color out of there, I'm going to wash it now. That color is all loose now. The conditioner's got hold of it. And I'm going to put just a little bit of shampoo in here, and this is a clarifying shampoo again. I'm going to start with my smaller brushes and just give them a stir in that. And you may see there's lots of color coming out of this tiny brush. And this was a lipstick pencil. I'm going to squeeze that out, rinse it, lay it aside. And I will go through each one of these doing that. Squeeze it out, rinse it, lay it aside. Let's get one of these bigger ones. This one was dirty. And I'm going to do this. And this stuff just foams with that conditioner. Squeeze it out. And you'll rinse with warm water. Need not be hot water, just warm. And squeeze it out again. Okay? And I will finish these up, and I'll be right back. Our brushes have been pre-washed with the conditioner. They have been rinsed. They've been washed with a clarifying shampoo, and they've been rinsed again. I want to squeeze the water out of the brush like I did before. Final step is going to be conditioning the brush. And I've still got my conditioner here. And I'm going to put just a tiny bit on my hand again. And what I want to do is just work the tips of the bristles into this. And using my fingers, I'm going to work that conditioner all the way through. Squeeze it into it, and fan out the brush, and make sure the brush is nicely saturated. There's no need to overload, just nicely saturated. And I'm going to rinse the brush a final time. Again, squeeze the water out and shape your brush back to its original form. Now, this is my brush holder, and I don't want to use this to let my brushes dry, because if they dry up right, what's going to happen is that the water from the bristles is going to drain down into the metal part, the ferrule of the brush. And when it does that, it'll drain into the wood handle. Paint will begin to crack off of the handle. The wood will swell with water, and it will contract, and the ferrule will come loose, and you'll end up losing the ferrule and the bristles off of your handle. So what I want to do is dry it tilted downward. And I have a butter knife here laying on the side and a paper towel. And anything like a chopstick, a butter knife, an extra brush will be just enough to lift the handle of the brush enough so the water can flow downward off of the bristles. And I've got a little paper towel here. And all I'm going to do is lay them on here, and I'm going to leave that to dry overnight. I'll just leave it to air dry. These back here have already dried overnight, and this is the large brush. I need to get the conditioner off my hand. This is the large brush that I did, and you can fluff them up once they're dry with your hand. You can spin them a little bit, and they will come back to where they were in the beginning, or very close to it.
and they're going to be extremely soft. To me, this is as soft or softer than they were out of the package. One more tip is that because these brushes can tangle, especially the big ones, I use a straight hairpin. This does not have to be this big. This is one of my larger ones, but starting just as I would with my hair in the first conditioning, before I'm using my clarifying shampoo, I'll have this loaded with conditioner, and I'll start on the ends of it and just run a pin through here. You could use a straight pin if you wanted to. This brush is too much for a comb to handle to me, but I will begin working and coming up closer and closer to the ferrule and sliding this through gently, and these hairs will break just like the hairs on your head. So that works for detangling. And with that, there's your clean and simply soft brushes. Thanks. Bye. Enjoy your brushes. Bye-bye.